Business can be a lonely game, but it doesn't have to be. Welcome to Boutique Chat, where we explore community over competition and how to scale your company with the balance and the happiness that we all seek. We'll hear from product-based businesses of all types, retailers, e-commerce, and wholesale brands, along with industry experts shaping the future of our industry. I'm your host, Ashley Alderson from the Boutique Hub, and I can't wait to chat. Guys, welcome back to the podcast this week. This is going to be a joyful podcast. I love just having Taylor Elliott on the show today because I love your products so much. Every time I see you, you remind me of your products. You're just like a bright spot and such positive energy. So I'm so excited that you're here with us today, Taylor.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I'm always on brand, So with the colors.
You are always on brand.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited to be here with you.
I love it. Well, let's go back to the beginning. I know that you've been around this industry for a long time. You have a unique upbringing in this industry. So how did you get started and first kind of get the bug that led you down this path of wanting to have your own company and your own products?
Yeah. So I had an early start in the gift industry. My parents, they're both pharmacists and they own a pharmacy in a small town here in Oklahoma. And my mom, brought me to market when I was about 11 years old. So we went to Dallas Market. And I remember walking in the doors of the Trade Mart and just looking at it thinking, this is the biggest mall I have ever seen. And from there, she would go, 2-3 times a year to market, and I would beg to go with her. They gave me a badge that said junior buyer, and I really do believe that those were the stepping stones that really did start building my interest in product design. I mean, it wasn't until later that I kind of created my own job title as a product designer. But I mean, going with my mom to market for years, she would, be debating between this color, and she'd have me weigh in. And she really did trust my opinion at a very young age. And so to let me have that say, made me feel very important. And like, it was a very special job for me as junior buyer.
I love that. I'm thinking about even my own daughter's first experiences going to market. And I know so many mothers in this industry, have that really cool opportunity. So I'm sure, from your parents' perspective, to see how far that experience has come into what you're doing now. And I'm betting even just like that moment of you opening your own showroom in that building had to be huge for your family.
Oh my gosh, yes, totally. And my parents, their pharmacy carries Taylor Elliot Designs. So that's a full circle moment. But yeah, no, it is fun. So like my mom, she'll come and, for our grand opening, like she came and celebrated and supported me. And then, once it was over, she left and went and did her buying.
I love that. So take me back to the beginning of the product. So I'm assuming, had the bug of like art and being creative growing up in school. How did you first start like dabbling? Was it with stationery first, or what was your first step into the product side of things?
So I've always been super creative. Like I've taken every art class that was offered in school. And then I graduated and went to the University of Oklahoma, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree in graphic design. And so I can proudly say that I do use my degree every day. So it's a degree that really did pay off. I didn't know at the time like how beneficial it would be for me in my career. But while I was finishing up my senior year of college, I was working part-time at my parents' pharmacy. And at that time, my mom, she didn't have time to meet with gift sales reps. And she didn't have time to do like the creative merchandising. And so I stepped in to fill that role during my last semester of college. So she let me meet with sales reps on my own, pick out the gifts, order the gifts, and they would come in and I would unpack them and then I would merchandise them. And I loved that because it was very creative and it was strategic and the buying had to be intentional for our customer. But what I found so interesting as I was looking at the pages on the catalog that the sales rep brought me is I remember that it was a company that was featuring a designer and that had her picture. And I remember thinking, wow, like I wonder how she created these products. And I wonder how now she's in this catalog and she got these products made. And now this sales rep is selling the products to me that I'm selling to my customer in the pharmacy. And I became very fascinated with that process. And so in that moment, it was my last semester of college. In that moment, I thought, what is that job called? Like, if I wanted to create picture frames and I wanted to create products, like, what do you call that? So I just started calling it a product designer, a gift product designer. And that job title stuck around with me for a few years before I actually did something with it. But that job title that I kind of created, I didn't know, I'd never heard it before. I kind of just like stuck it in the back of my brain, and thought about it a lot.
That is crazy. So it's amazing to me because I don't hear that very often. That someone was actually brought up in this industry, got a chance to do it growing up, had this idea of like, oh, wow, that is exactly what I want to do. That is really unique. So how did you then move into, all right, here's my first product. I'm going to start designing on my own.
So I worked in the corporate world for a few years after I graduated college. Graphic design at the time, we were like a year or two after the recession, and so jobs were hard to find. It was highly competitive, and so I ended up working in oil and gas in Oklahoma. That's a big industry in Oklahoma, and so completely unrelated to graphic design, but it was a really great job, and I learned a lot. So my boyfriend, now husband, he actually went with his family to Australia for 3 weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss you so much. What am I going to do with my time? So I started a company. That's normal, right? It's totally normal, right? And so I remember emailing him logos of, okay, this is my company and I'm going to start selling customized stationery on Etsy. I had a printer, an inkjet printer from college. I had my laptop from college and I started drafting up stationery pieces. I did Babelverse prints for nurseries, custom nursery prints, birth announcement prints. And that's how I got started, was on Etsy. And I loved doing that, but I really thought, okay, Christmas time rolled around and I thought, okay, I want a more giftable product. Like, I want to design products that your friend might buy for you for Christmas or your birthday, more everyday giftables. And so that's when I started getting into pencils and pens and notepads, which I'm a total stationery junkie. So it fits perfectly. And I still carry pens and pencils, notepads, notebooks. So that's really how it got started.
What's so ironic? I look at my desk as you're speaking about just, the stationery and the pens and the pencils and you probably had a lot of Lisa Frank growing up. I'm totally
Oh my
guessing.
gosh, yes.
But I look down and look at, I have one of your pens.
It might be the same one.
It might be really. Oh my gosh. When has that ever happened before? That's hilarious. If you guys aren't seeing this on YouTube, if you're listening to audio only, we literally are holding the exact same bright orange pen.
Yep.
And it says choose happiness on it. Taylor Elliott.
Yep, same pen, same exact pen. I love that.
That's too funny.
I know. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you start with the stationery, and I'm assuming out of all your products, like the stationery and the pens and the pencils with the cute sayings still have to be one of your best product categories. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
We are a stationery brand, and I think we will always carry stationery because I mean, ever since I was little, I've loved back to school shopping. And then now that I am an adult and I work at a desk, I mean, I love colored pens. I tried to clean my desk off a little bit for, the podcast, but, like I love, working with fun notepads. I mean, that's just a piece of me that I never grew out of. And yes, I loved Lisa Frank so much. So really a lot of my products, therefore, the person who loved back to school shopping, but now it's school supplies for adults.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about this. So I think about the stat of, in the 2009 recession, I heard this amazing stat, and it was talking about how the product category that really sold the most, that saw the most tremendous growth during that time, during a downturn in the economy, was lipstick. Because lipstick for women was just such a small little like joy moment for them. Yes. Like it was an affordable product. It was easy, a quick pick me up. And I think about the products that you sell, stationery, pens. To me, it's that same like joy product. It's a really quick and easy add-on. It's a quick grab for somebody. Tell me about that. Like, is that how you, when you're talking to retailers and you're talking about adding stationery or a product line like yours, is
Mhm.
that the strategy and is that the angle that you encourage retailers to take, is to look at that joy product category?
Definitely. We talk a lot about them being little happies, like just a little happy product that makes you feel good or that you can gift to a loved one. And surprisingly, you talk about lipstick with the recession, but even during COVID, when so many
Yeah.
people decided that they started having to work from home, having something like, colorful
Mm.
pins, motivational pins, a beautiful notebook, to just glow up their office. That was something that became really popular during that time when everyone was working from home. But yeah, we talked to our wholesalers about. I'm sorry, us as wholesalers talk to our buyers about them being joy products. A lot of our products retail for under $20, so they're those items that you can that are very attainable, that anyone can enjoy and gift to another one. That's really important to me, is to create an attainable product for many to enjoy.
I love that. And even on the gift side of things, do you feel like it's still a product that it doesn't matter if it's a storefront, a physical storefront, or an e-commerce store, or someone who's a live seller? Does it matter? Do you still think like those little giftable moments still have the equal opportunity no matter where they are?
Oh, definitely. I think that not everyone is, no pun intended, not everyone is gifted in gift giving, but giving and receiving gifts is my love language. And so I love to create products that people can gift to their loved ones. And so even if I'm
Yeah.
doing a live sale, helping my buyers, customers with ideas of, okay, this would be a really great teacher gift. This would be great for Mother's Day. These pins, we designed our boxed
Yeah.
pin sets so they can fit inside a standard stocking. So, like during Christmas, like, hey, these are a great stocking stuffer. Um, I think that those giftable moments are so important, and I don't think you have to break the bank in order to give someone a thoughtful gift. I love to do like a notebook and a pin wrapped in ribbon. Just a thinking of you gift, I think is really important, and I think that translates to live selling, e-commerce, in person. I love to encourage my stores to. Create gift bundles. So, a notepad, a pin set wrapped in ribbon, and you have cute, quick grab and go gifts for the busy mom. She might work, 50 plus hours a week, and she's taking kids to soccer and trying to get dinner on the table. She doesn't have time to think about gift items, but if we can get that gift ready for her and she can just pop into her local
Mhm.
gift boutique and grab it, I mean, that is meeting the customer where they are, and I think that's a huge part of it.
I love that you share all of that, because when I think about even just marketing strategy, it doesn't matter if you're a gift boutique, it doesn't matter if you're an apparel boutique. I feel like that the idea of gift is really just solving people's problems.
For
And I
sure.
think everybody has an opportunity to get into this line of or this category, I would say. Again, doesn't matter if your product, gift, apparel, doesn't matter. Giftable is still so important. How else do you train your stores that carry your products just to think about, that 12-month calendar of gift giving, or just solving people's problems? Do you encourage them to work ahead and then you kind of like launch in terms of those very specific holidays for people and encourage them to launch, those collections and merchandising accordingly?
Oh, for sure. Like when let's see, we're planning for June gift market right now. And so when we are at Dallas Market in June, we'll be talking to customers about the next 6 months. So back to school, um into stocking stuffers in Q4 gifting, but a lot of stores start getting ready in October for Q4 gifting. And so, it seems like a long time, but that window really isn't that big. But yeah, we start talking to customers early, because that's where our brains go. Like as a business owner, my brain is always like 6 months ahead. And then as just a regular mom, I'm like, okay, wait, what month is it? I can never remember. But yeah, we really talk to our customers about how they can merchandise the products, and we even sell displays so that we can help solve the problem for our store buyer. And they think, oh, well, how do I display this? And so we show them the displays. So we really try to solve every aspect of the buyer's problem so that we can help them out and make their store look really beautiful in the process.
I love that. What do you think when you think about like the stores that have the most success carrying your product? What do you think they have in common?
I think that they put a lot of attention to detail in the merchandising. The stores that personally really excite me visually are stores that have a full display. Like when you walk up to the display, like you're almost a little overstimulated with like, do I look here first? Do I look here first? Do I look here first? You give them a lot of options to look at. And, a lot of our products are very brightly colored. There's glitter, there's confetti, but really where I see the most success is when I see our stores create a Taylor Elliott Designs display that literally stops their customers in their tracks with the bright colors, with the motivational sayings. And so I really try to communicate that to our buyers, is that you want to create a really great display that just makes people have to stop and look.
Yeah, it's all about the discovery. Like, I can't wait to see what is going to be around the next corner. And you know what's so funny? When I think about your showroom in Dallas, like that is the experience. When I walk in, I'm like, okay, do I want to go right or do I want to go left? Because I know I want to look at every single shelf.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny how our eyes work like that. Like it is that like in-depth product discovery for sure.
Well, it's creating an experience. It's creating an experience for that customer. It's very exciting.
Are you ready to participate in Pink Friday 2024? This is your official invitation. I hope you join us to shop small first and promote your store, whether you're online or you have a beautiful brick and mortar that you want to really tell your story about why to shop small first this holiday season. November 22nd, 2024 is the Friday before Black Friday. And annually, every single year on Pink Friday, we join together to promote this idea of shopping small first before Black Friday, before the big box stores. I love Small Business Saturday, and I just hate that it comes after Black Friday. It's an afterthought. That's why Pink Friday, again, is always the weekend before Black Friday. So join us. Sign up to promote your store, to be on our Shop Small First map, and receive all of the ideas, toolkits, stickers, window clings, graphics, anything you can use to set up an event in your community or to promote your online business on Pink Friday, November 22nd, 2024. Link is in the show notes. Be sure to sign up. It's completely free to promote your business on Pink Friday. How do you manage just maintaining that level of creativity? You have this huge bright brand, you have new products, you're always thinking about what's next for your customer. It takes a lot of creativity to do what you do and to run a company at the same time. And I know everyone listening has that in common, but I think very specifically for you as someone who's designing your own products, it's kind of a whole nother level. So how do you manage your time? How do you manage your energy to make sure you're focusing on being creative when that moment hits?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I'm going to be completely honest, but over the years, I have learned what works for me. And so a lot of this goes beyond just running a company. It's a lot of it is what's good for me, physical activity, getting out in the sunshine. Some mornings I might take my cup of coffee and go check on my flowers that I'm growing in my raised flower beds. And that refreshes my soul and it brings joy to my heart. And I think in turn that helps with my creativity. Spending really intentional time with my family on the weekends and the evenings are things that really fill my cup up. And I think that I just have to make sure that I am filling my cup up with good things so that I can be a creative product designer. Time blocking is super important. And it's probably one of the only ways I can ever get anything done, or else I would just let my inbox rule my work days. So I really do schedule out times when I'm answering emails, when I have meetings, when I'm having creative time. And I've kind of learned like mornings when I'm well rested are good creative times for me. So being able to block off that time, it's just been a trial and error process. And I do want to be intentional with my team. You and I were talking about this a little bit before, but my product line is very motivational and very upbeat. And so it's important to me that I have the energy to be encouraging and motivational to my team members. And so making sure I'm able to, give them time and be a leader for my team.
Yeah.
So it is a lot, and it's like riding a bike. You have to find that balance, and it's a constant balance versus arriving at a destination. I mean, sometimes I sway a little bit this way and then I have to, get back balanced. And sometimes I might sway the other way and then something happens and I'm like, okay, got to get balanced again.
Yeah.
But it's a lot, like I'm a huge proponent with creativity and, healthy eating and physical activity and allowing myself as a business owner and as the leader to carve out the time to do those things, because even though sometimes those things feel like luxuries, they really are so important to the business, because I have to be creative. I have to come out with new products, and I can only do that when I am at my best.
Yeah, and that's so true. Something I think of just in hearing you say that, that you're just, I know, an advocate for, and in terms of filling your cup, you've been a part of lifelong learning and a part of our mastermind. And an experience that we had together, an exercise that we did together was like the joy spot matrix. And I think about, in order for you to say yes to things and to, if you're not familiar with the joy spot matrix, it's basically a matrix that's saying, okay, what do I love doing is on one end of the spectrum, and going the opposite direction. So let's say that's going horizontally, going vertically is what am I good at? So you want to focus all of your time and energy on the things you're both good at and that you love doing. And then the things you're not good at and you don't love doing go in the opposite side of the matrix. So when I think about that for you, saying yes to being creative means saying no to something else. So where have you learned to set boundaries for yourself in your time and to say no to certain things, or to ask for help, or to outsource certain things?
That, it's taken me a long time to figure that out. And also, in another regard, we've had to grow in order for me to grow a team to delegate to. Because there was a long time where I was having to do stuff that I didn't love doing, but I was a small business, and I still am a small business, but now I have a team that I can delegate to. But really, the things that I think to myself, oh, I just really do not want to be doing this right now. It's not that I pawn that off onto my team. It's that I think that my creativity, my energy can be served elsewhere. And I have staffed my team with people who are not like me, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm very creative, but I have a team member who's been with me for about 2.5 years, and she's very organized, very type A, and she loves a spreadsheet. And I do not love a spreadsheet. And so I know that when I open up a spreadsheet and I think to myself, oh gosh, I really do not want to be doing this right now, she would be thrilled to do it. And so, and so, so I really have tried very hard to stay in that, what do I love doing and what do I enjoy doing? But I think what has been really hard for me is the things that I am good at, but that I don't enjoy doing. Those are the ones that I'm good at it, but I don't enjoy doing it. That have been hard to delegate, that I'm working on delegating. Because I'm like, oh, I can do that. It'll just take me a couple minutes. But when you say that multiple times per day, that actually takes up quite a bit of your time.
Yeah, it does. It all adds up for sure. How have you, so it's a process, right? We're always like working that process. How have you continued to like exercise and flex that muscle? But also, you've got a family. How have you learned to also set boundaries around just family time in general so that you can, be a working mom and have this great business at the same time?
Well, when we were at the mastermind in the retreat in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, there were a couple words. Well, your theme for the retreat, freedom, and that has stuck with me a lot.
Yeah.
But also focus. So in order for me to have the freedom, I do have to have that space to focus. And when I'm being creative, it's hard for me to have a time slot of 30 minutes to be creative. I
Yeah.
need multiple hours. And so realizing I can't fill my schedule with meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting all every day. I have to have days, like creative days that are designated just for being creative, and then maybe days that are just designated for meetings, so that I can literally dream and brainstorm for 6 hours. and I go, one of the things with freedom that, and I just am obsessed with the word freedom, because I think as an entrepreneur, there's so many levels of freedom. But for me, in this season of life, I have a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old. Part of owning a company and having that freedom is, being able to go pick up my kindergartner from school. That's something that's very important to me. But in order to have that freedom, I have to have boundaries to focus. And so it all really kind of works together. So I have to say no to things. I have to say no to certain things. It forces me to delegate. And I'm still learning this, but I have found a good balance of, when I say yes to things, I'm saying no to other things. So I have to be very careful what I say yes to.
Well said. Well said. Because I love what you said. You have to be able to say, how did you say that? You have to have freedom, but freedom means boundaries. So being able to be free actually means saying no to other things. I love how you put all of that together. Because I think sometimes we think, oh, I'm in control of my schedule. I'm my own boss. I can do whatever I want. And then we end up saying yes to way too many things. And then all of a sudden we've lost focus, which then means we're losing creativity and things are starting to go in the other direction. So well said.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to do a little lightning round? I've got some fast and furious questions for you. Are you ready?
Sure. Yes, I would love that.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. So speaking of boundaries and freedom and focus, I give you 2 hours back in your day. And with those 2 hours, you get to do income generating activity. What do you do?
Product design.
Perfect.
Yeah, I would do product design. I would grab my Pantone chips and I would just lay them all out, and I would just go to town designing products.
I want to be a mouse in the corner. I just want to be in your space and like watch you go to town doing that. That is a muscle I don't have.
I like lay out all my Pantone chips and see what kind of story they tell.
So fun. And every season's different. Every season's a new opportunity. I love that. All right. Hardest lesson you've had to learn?
I think finding our manufacturers has been a very hard lesson. I work with our manufacturers directly, and that I would say is the hardest part of my job, is learning how to get my products produced that in a way that are really high quality and on brand and something that I'm excited about. That's hard. And finding good manufacturers, we've had a lot of interactions with manufacturers that aren't that great, and along the way we have found some really great ones. So that's been hard, and it continues to be hard. I have learned more throughout my experience, but yeah, that's a pretty hard one.
It is a hard lesson. That's a tricky lesson, and it can be a very costly lesson at the same time.
Yes.
All right.
Definitely.
Best advice that you've received that always sticks with you?
I think I've got 2 pieces of advice here. I think that I believe that being kind and easy to work with is something that's really important in the industry. Every interaction you have, every person that you work with leaves some form of a imprint, and I think that being someone who's fun, I say fun, but someone who's friendly, kind, easy to work with, someone who's not difficult, I think gets you a long way. Yeah. Being a team player, being a contributor, a collaborator, community over competition. I think that is really important. And not just building this brand that is all walls, I think is really important, but also to something that has helped me along the way is just really leaning into my creativity and being me and putting my blinders on when I need to, if that means, taking a break from social media, not paying a lot of attention to what other brands are doing and really just diving into what's speaking to me and where my creativity is leading me, I think is um, been something that has helped me a lot. And it's something that I love to encourage other business owners to do.
That's so good. You know what it makes me think of, Taylor, is when we were at Mastermind, our friend Sam was talking about his brands that he's had over the years. And he was talking about how he would go to the movies and he would buy magazines and all these places he would go just to get inspiration. And I would bet, as someone who's highly creative, like, you have to protect where you're getting inspiration from. And just to block out the noise of everyone else who might all of a sudden be on your heels, might be copying you, just might be kind of like getting into your space, and keeping your focus on what the opportunity is versus what it's not.
Yes. And it's, it's hard. It's hard. And it's another lesson in boundaries. You just have to, put your blinders on and just, say, okay, I'm going to focus on this. And I never want to, I just always want to protect my creativity. I never want to be looking at other designs so much that it subconsciously enters my brain as my creative idea. So
yeah, good point. All right. What is one metric in your business that you live by?
So early on, when I was getting my business started, my husband created a profit margins spreadsheet for me. And he told me that, when I'm inputting my costs and putting the pricing, not to go below a certain percentage. And that's my metric. I go by that. And I use that same spreadsheet to this day. And that is my metric. And that has been working for, I guess 9 years. And my husband's name is Blake. And so the spreadsheet's called Numbers Girl for Blake. So I'm a numbers girl, and that's what the spreadsheet's called, Numbers Girl for Blake. But that is my metric that I go off of when I'm manufacturing.
I love that.
Product.
You got Numbers Girl for Blake.
And price. Yep. And so whenever I do my margins,
I think it sounds like you need a tattoo that says that. Like, that's what's coming next.
I know, numbers.
Numbers.
Yep, numbers. Yeah, I'll get it. Yeah, I'll get it like on my hip. Numbers Girl for Blake.
Oh my gosh, it's hard. I mean, I just have to say this. Typically, as a very creative person, the number side of things harder. The metric side can be tricky. So I love that it's a team effort that he helped you out with that. How about this question on the flip side? What's one metric that you wish you knew more about?
I wish I knew more about inventory planning and inventory forecasting. And I do have to put in a plug for Christine at She Profits Now, because I started working with her about 6 months ago, and we've made tremendous progress, and she's helped me so much. As a creative, she has helped me understand the numbers so much, and we've gotten a game plan together to help educate me. I mean, I can't, even as a creative, I've used the cop out for a long time that, I'm creative, I don't understand the numbers. But to truly run a successful business, I have to know the numbers. So I really have tried to become a numbers girl, in small doses. And even though I open those spreadsheets with Christine and they intimidate me, and I tell her that, I'm like, this intimidates me and I need to take a nap after our call. But that's been one thing that, and she knows, I've put those goals out there and voiced those to her. And so we're working through those together.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how when you flex that muscle and work on the numbers like that, how in turn the numbers actually allow you to have more creativity. But a lot of people shut that down.
And it's very empowering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very empowering that I feel like I understand my business way better now. And that is it's hard to describe that feeling. Very empowering, and it makes me feel more confident and all important things.
Absolutely. All right. Last question in our speed round. What does it mean to you to be a great boss?
To me, being a great boss means being a team player, being a caring person. We've got several moms on our team, and I think that we really work by the philosophy of work hard and play hard. We have a lot of fun at market. We work really hard day to day. But I think just being that understanding, caring, compassionate boss, that's really important to me, because at the end of the day, our families mean the world to us. And and the girls that work with me, they go back home to their families every day, and that's the most important thing. And I understand that. And work is important, and we come to work and we play hard. And I'm sorry, we come to work and we work hard, but that's not the most important thing. Our family is the most important thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're just like speaking to the choir. I just think that's the name of the game, right? We get into this business, going back to this idea of freedom. We get into this business because we want freedom to do certain things, right? Like freedom to make unlimited money, and freedom to be creative, and freedom to serve the people that we want to serve, and freedom from, many things, freedom from constraints of others. So the fact that that's your focus, and that really freedom is what you're passionate about, and that makes you a great boss, I think that's really incredible. So well done. Well said.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Last thoughts of the day. And this is really just, the ultimate question. And I think you just spoke right to it, but you create these beautiful products, right, that make people so joyful and so happy. But I'm going to fast forward you now to, 30 years down the road, and the business is sold, or whatever you've chosen to do with it. Maybe it's still in the family somewhere, which would be cool, right? You could have a multi-generational business. But you're a grandma, and you're sitting on the front porch with your family, and you're talking about this life that you lived, and the business you created, and these amazing products that made people smile. When you look back and you tell that story, what's the thing that you want people to remember the most about you and your journey?
I want people to remember that Taylor Elliot Designs was, or is, more than just a transaction. It's about a relationship. It's about how we treat people. It's about how we treat our customers. Obviously, we're in business to make, we have to make money in order to stay in business, in order for me to pay my team. But I want to build a company and a legacy that when our customers think about us, they know that we are honest, we are trustworthy, we are kind, we create great quality products. If there's a problem, we're quick to fix it. That we're easy to work with. Kind of going back to, being easy to work with and being kind. That is that surpasses just reputation. And I think that just owning and creating a genuinely good company, where we give back, and a big-hearted company, a company with a heart. I think that's what I want. That's what I'm thinking back. I literally have this vision right now of my grandkids and sitting on a porch, and just the company being about the people, and that legacy that we created.
Absolutely. And you have already created something that I think embodies that, and embodies very much the person that I know you to be, the character that you already have. Your company definitely embodies that. So Taylor, this has been so awesome. Thank you for sharing your time today, your talent, your treasure, your story with all of us. It's just so fun to watch you continue to be creative and to grow and to thrive. So again, thanks for being a part of our community, and thanks for being on the podcast today.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I had fun, and I love being a part of the Boutique Hub.
Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you took away all kinds of nuggets and new ideas from this week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. We love to hear your feedback and give you a chance to be featured on the show each and every week. For more information on our spirit of community over competition, and to access guest downloads and bonuses and all the resources we talked about on the show, head on over to theboutiquehub.com and join the community. We'll see you next week.